when you believe in something, you don't have to think.
Yes.
You don't have to think or question. When you have a belief in something, you don't have to it eliminates the need to think and question.
Leave your blind obedience at the door. It's time for Carl and Mike.
Welcome, Carl, Mike, best of 2015. I'm Carl.
I'm Mike.
And Mike, tonight, we've had a whole year together. So the newlywed year is over.
That's right.
Now we get to be a cranky old couple.
No, that would be good.
But fortunately for us, we recorded our first year together, and we're going to have it all on tape here. Tape?
Yeah. Tape?
No. Digital?
I don't know.
It's digitized. So we've got the best of politics, the best of sex, the best of religion, and of course, thought leadership. We give it to you.
It's a taste.
A taste?
Sampler. It's a sampler.
Yeah, so if this is your first time listening to Carl Mike, enjoy your sample. And then hopefully you'll come back and take the full course meal.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else we should say about this for our new people?
No, let's get started.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go. I'm starting a new religion.
What's that?
Called I Don't Know.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that would be good.
All right, because I'm tired of people that have all the answers or think they have all the answers. They don't.
Yeah.
They've got.
Wouldn't that be refreshing to have?
I'm tired of someone else having answers of some
I
book.
really don't know.
That would be the religion. Yeah. Yes. IDK, as we like to call it.
I don't know. Yeah. IDK. Yeah.
IDK. I don't know. Don't you think? It would be nice to have that.
IDK.
Whether it be a political party or a religious
What would our
thing.
symbol be? What would
IDK?
If it's not going to be a cross, what would it be?
Be a shrug.
A shrug.
A shoulder shrug. I don't know. I think we need a little bit more. I don't know. Question mark. Well, question mark I like because it could go either way.
Yeah.
Now we're getting back to the cue.
Yeah.
Right? Because the question is, asking a question means you don't know. You don't ask a question if you know.
Oh, this was the lost episode, wasn't it?
We did talk about the religion of Q, yeah.
Yeah, the religion of Q, yeah.
But don't you think? I mean, a question mark would be good because you can't ask a question unless you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to be asking a lot more questions. You don't ever hear a question on Fox News.
No, they only have answers.
They only have answers to this screwed up ideology.
That's a good point. They don't have questions there.
Right. Nobody asks any questions.
They're not allowed to question.
Yeah, you aren't allowed to question, really. You have to have faith.
Yeah.
Faith is the absence of questions.
Well, if you question, it shows a lack of purity.
Yeah.
And conviction.
Exactly. Here's to the question.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Religion, yeah, the religion of I don't know.
I'm liking it, baby.
Yeah.
Of course, then we start. Here's the problem with it. So let's say we start this religion now, and people listening to us right now, and Carl and Mike go, "I want to be a follower of I don't know."
Yeah.
So they join, and for a while it's looking pretty good because we're all I don't know, you know. But then, does certain things happen where some dogma starts getting created about I don't know, and then other people?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Somebody's going to want to create some sort of I don't know manifesto. What is it?
Well, it means.
And you go, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're going to know, well, that ain't good enough. I got to have something.
Yeah, I got to know something.
That defines what it is. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I think we would have a chance to last longer before falling into no. Because if it's a true I don't know, then you're always I don't know.
My head's hurting.
Is it better to always I don't know? Is it better? Is there some point where you should know? No, because it constantly is changing.
Is it really changing?
Yes. What? If we...
How about some Thai stew? You want some Thai stew?
Yeah. Please, let's put some... Here's the sad part. We're both having this conversation, and we're not on anything.
Yeah. We ought to do one of these high.
We need to do one high. Carl and Mike high. We can do that, because we're a podcast.
Whoa. That would be so cool.
I would like that. No, but think about it. If we knew how a car worked, then we wouldn't have Tulsa, would we? Bringing the conversation around.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. He's basically turning it on its end.
Right. So that's why I don't know is important to never.
Well,
to
the car is basically the same. His cars don't look that much different. It's a propulsion system that's different, and the power system that's different.
But that gets there by having be able to question.
Yeah.
Why does the car run on gas? Why does the car need to run on gas? That's the question. So it's a combination of being inquisitive and being okay with I don't know, and to learn something new. But then you know something, but then you have to take it.
But see, it's harder to have. Imagine trying to get followers when you go, I don't know.
No, because they don't know either.
No, but they're
so
looking.
We can have a great conversation.
But people are not coming to somebody
who doesn't know.
They want
somebody to follow somebody who knows.
They want to follow somebody. They want to have answers. They want to be around somebody that has conviction, that believes strongly about something.
Yes.
Anything. It turns out. Turns out anything.
Right. It could be as crazy as this, or it could be as cool as Elon Musk.
Or it could be as or it could be as crazy as Hitler. Pol Pot.
Yeah.
Stalin.
As long as you got conviction.
So Putin's a good example too. And his fucking approval ratings are 86%. Come on.
I don't know. Do you trust the
polling
station in Russia?
No, but
Saddam Hussein won the last election he did,
but
99%.
What I'm saying is there are people that they'll come to you and lead. Now, at some point, people go, I don't want that, and then that's when they kind of turn on the people and say, yes, you will. You have to do this. You must, or I'm going to kill you, or something. Or I'm going to shun you from the crowd, which people don't want to be shunned. They don't want to be shunned from their friends, right? They don't want to be kicked out, and all of a sudden, you're not part. It's like Scientologists. When somebody decides to bail on Scientology, everybody turns their back on them, including their family.
Right.
Including their family, which is bizarre to me.
Well, that's kind of a cult thing,
and so
right?
and so it's the same kind of thing. And that starts to be a controlism. I mean, people get attracted to this light of wisdom, of knowledge.
Right.
Could there be a light of I don't know? Is that an actual light that you could be drawn to? I mean, what would draw somebody to I don't know? The frankness of it? The honesty of it?
Yeah, I think the honesty and frankness of it. And, I mean, so in the world of I don't know, is there anything that you do know?
That you don't know.
So, I mean, I know how to walk.
Do you really?
No, there's probably better ways of walking.
You know what this is?
What?
This is a show about nothing. But Jerry, what's the show going to be about?
Jerry Seinfeld would like that.
Oh, yeah.
Our patron saints.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to sound ridiculous like that, but it worked for him for a few years.
Yeah.
And,
our shows are often about nothing.
Yeah.
In particular.
Yeah.
And everything important, as
he's
I
just
like to
being
use
honest.
the copy.
They're being honest about not knowing.
Right.
So he says, I don't know.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know as an attitude more than anything. It's not a faith.
Yeah.
It's an attitude.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I know how to walk as I do. Is there a better way to walk? I don't know. It could be. Why
Let's
don't
find
you show
out.
me?
Let's find out. Yeah.
I'm willing to look at a better way. That's what's good.
Think about if people embraced the I don't know.
Right.
Which, if you embrace the I don't know and you embrace the idea that there's the possibility of something better,
right.
because you don't know,
right,
then you would embrace the idea of exploring other possibilities, openly exploring other possibilities.
Right. We don't like to do that.
Oh, Carl.
Yes. What?
Oh, Carl.
What?
We watched Going Clear last night.
You did.
That's some fucked up shit.
It is. Tell me about it.
I was sitting there, we were watching it. About halfway through, we put it on pause, take a pee break,
right,
get some water, whatever. I don't know what it was. and I'm just kind of going trying to get my head around it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It's so fucked up.
Oh yeah, I mean, he meaning El Ray, is that what they call him? They call him El Ray. That's his. Yeah. El Ray was
so
really
whacked out.
Yeah, he was whacked out to begin with.
This is the part I don't get. My logical brain would say you'd have to be sharp in a dastardly way to get people, but to be whacked out and get people to follow you is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
But to build what he built,
yeah. Now, I guess he was charismatic enough to get people to follow him.
I guess.
He didn't seem like a charismatic kind of a dude.
No.
But he had people following him and doing just weird shit, you know. And I'm going, and then he turned it in. It kind of evolved into a religion.
Right, because he didn't want to pay taxes.
Didn't want to pay taxes.
Sounds like just my favorite libertarian.
Yeah, don't want to pay taxes. So that's where how that evolved, and how he got away.
So much so that he lived on a boat in the Canary Islands.
Yeah.
To avoid paying taxes.
Yeah.
Snuck into Florida.
Hence the Sea Org. Because see, Perry's friend had talked about Sea Org, and I never really knew what it was. I didn't ask him too much, you know,
Right.
because he grew up in it.
Right.
He grew up in that religion, and he is out of there. But his folks are still in. So he's talked about the disconnect.
Right.
And he's talked about disconnect with other members of his family and stuff who bowed out of it or never were part of it or whatever. And so a lot of that cleared a lot of that stuff up.
Yeah.
And
so what was...
But it's just bizarre. And then I was looking this morning, I wondered, okay, how many members are there? Well, of course, Scientology says there's somewhere between 8 and 10 million worldwide. But the actual numbers that they're talking about from somebody who actually was there, keeping
Right.
track of that stuff, says maybe 40,000.
Right.
And
Worldwide.
Yeah, but I know they're tapping these people for money.
Well, yeah, 'cause
because
look what they
Perry's
built.
friends, folks, are spending tons of money, tons and tons of money, going to Sea Org and just giving them their cash, and going through those various steps where you get to find out about the beings or whatever, the real
What a
story.
disappointment that's got to be. It sounds like it really was for some of these top guys. They got to the top levels and said, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, Haggis was going. Was it
Right.
Paul Haggis?
Yeah.
He was going, and he's a writer, right?
Right.
Okay, so he's
Famous filmmaker.
So he's sitting there. He's sitting there going. At some point, he goes, "Really? You get to that separate. Like,
Right.
This is the best you got when you get up there, and because he's a writer, so he can
Yeah.
relate to
Yeah.
El
Yeah.
Ray or whatever.
El Ron.
Yeah. As a writer, and he's kind of going, at that point you're kind of going, feeling like a fool, but also kind of admire or be in awe of a guy that can actually pull that shit off.
Yeah.
And then he up and dies and leaves his body and goes on to the next, Q8 or 9 or 10 or whatever the fuck it is, and leaves that scary little dipshit
That
in
guy
charge
there.
of it.
How is that guy not in prison?
I have no idea. How is
That shows the way. One thing it showed was the power of being a religion. You
Yes.
really do have
and
license.
how you can scare people,
But
to,
no.
to get them to back off because you're.
I'm talking about the power of religion in terms of the government.
That's what I'm saying. You can get the government to back off because you say we're a religion. You got to back off. We can
Right.
do
we can do
whatever
whatever the fuck.
we can do
We can do whatever the
want.
hell we want inside
Yeah.
this religion.
Yeah.
And hell, operative word here.
And oh, by the way, we're going to file a bunch of lawsuits. You were going to flood you
I
with
love that.
lawsuits, and
You have to.
just
That was a brilliant strategy.
Yeah.
He went after the IRS and won, basically.
it was a brilliant strategy.
I mean, brilliantly evil, but you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's going to flood them with so many lawsuits. It would take so much money. They just wanted him to go away.
Yeah, and if you
And
if
he
you're
pulled it
not,
off.
and if you're not going to be paying $1 billion
Look,
in
you have
taxes,
to say the
that's-
cojones on the guy to say,
stout cojones.
because the IRS was going after him, right?
Yeah.
Pretty hardcore.
Yeah, well, they're going.
They
after
decided
him
to
and-
turn the tables and got away with it.
and they were going to probably go after a lot of the members who were given money as a donation, a tax-free donation.
Every
to their
member was going to
church.
sue the IRS.
Yeah, and so if they
Because you
had,
can do that in a cult.
yeah,
Get
yeah, you
everybody on
can
board.
you tell everybody, okay, you will file a suit here. We're giving you the paperwork. telling you how to do it. Here's everybody
Every
march
court,
down
every
on
jurisdiction,
Monday, just go
and
down there and float.
IRS didn't want certain things revealed that
Yeah.
could happen in a court.
Yeah.
Too. There was that.
So, wow. I mean, I was just. Nita and I were both just stunned, and I wound up going to sleep, tossing, turning, finally get to sleep, and that shit's still in my mind all night long, thinking about it, and it just all those poor people. Think about, there's some of those people that donated 20, 30 years of their life.
That's the part.
The best years of their
Best
life.
years of
did
their
something.
lives.
And what was it, 6 cents to 40 cents an hour
at
Sea
yeah.
Org and some of these other
Yeah.
places? So basically, not only were they not paying taxes,
That girl was cleaning on
it
the
was
boat,
like
right.
beyond slave labor.
Yeah. Just to be around El
Yeah.
Rod, they worked on
Yeah.
the little boat.
Yeah, the one that was Cruz's girlfriend, she was
Yeah.
in Homeland. I don't know where she is now, what she's doing, what the deal is.
She's the one that
but-
escaped.
Yeah, well, she did escape. Okay, good.
Literally. Took Siri with her.
And but wow, it just and I'm sitting there. The lady that was talking about how her daughter with her new grandchild had to tell her mom, "I've got to disconnect from you," and she was just choked up about it. And the bitch about it is she's the one that raised her kids in that religion, so it's a self-inflicted wound that's coming late, but it's a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah.
And I don't know if any of these people are going to get out of it, but I'm sitting there looking at that. They ain't no different from Jim Jones or David Koresh
No,
and
they
Waco.
really aren't.
It's not any different at all than any of those
It's a
cults.
cult.
Yeah, and
Pure and simple.
Yeah, and
But I mean,
why our government allows that to happen? I guess it's
because
just
they got that separation of church and state.
that separation
That's
of
a
church and
bigger
state. It's
separation
that-
than you realize.
And that freedom of religion, no matter how you define religion.
So
you
you
know?
just get yourself a little tax-free thing. I mean, talk
So-
about the abuse that's happened there.
So we could do this.
Carl Mike Q.
Carl and Mike Q. We can be tax free.
Wow.
Yeah. We could do a Kickstarter. Let's do a Kickstarter campaign for a new religion called Q, and all money that you're given is tax deductible because we are a religion, and this is what our beliefs and principles are. And send that money to Carl and Mike, and we can dress up. I wonder if we could even get on Kickstarter with that. Bet not.
Kickstarter religion? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
And I agree. The saddest part was these people really, the time, the years that they lost of their life
Yeah.
to this
Yeah.
to be a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Is sad.
Little Tommy Cruise didn't come out looking good at all.
But if you notice, both Tom Cruise and Travolta have done weird stuff in public. You know, Cruise with the jumping on the sofa thing.
Yeah.
And then what's his face? Has been weird a couple times now.
Yeah.
On stage at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
They're cracking.
Yeah. I think
both. I think actually the higher up you go, the bigger the fall.
Well, and then you're up so far. You've gone through so much of the what do they call it? With their holding the tin cans with the electrodes on them, and they're sitting down writing intimate stuff about you. So they've got these dossiers on you. Dossier. That's an SAT word. I got to use that.
Wow.
Dossier.
There it is, the SAT word.
Dossier. Anyway.
And you're best friends with this evil fuck.
Yeah.
Muscovy. What's it, Muscovy or whatever his name is. That guy's really twisted little son of a bitch.
But they seem to be real quiet during all this. I mean, how are you going to... Who are they going to sue on this one? This is HBO. Who are they going to sue?
Who did? 112 lawyers, by the way.
What?
HBO.
Oh, 112 lawyers worked
on this movie.
Deal? Okay.
Preparing, because they knew the onslaught that they could take on with these guys, because that's what they do.
Well, and so bring it on, motherfucker.
That's what they basically said.
Yeah, bring it on.
And you've got these top lieutenants. You got, it's the equivalent of Holloman and Eric.
Yeah.
You remember Nixon's top guys?
Yeah.
Turning on him.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of this.
Yeah.
My question is, will Cruise still be bankable as a movie star after this?
Not as.
No, I think it's going to be hard to really hold that.
It depends on how many people see this or
because everybody in Hollywood's going to see it.
Well, everybody in Hollywood.
Scientology is big in L.A.
Yeah. Well,
got the big old building there.
Yeah, got the big old building, and it doesn't surprise me that it's Southern California and Southern Florida that this is big in. It ain't going to fly in Des Moines. It ain't going to work in Dallas. No. Although we've got our own problems with big religions. It's a religion, but it's got as its focus a figurehead.
Yes.
you know, a
But a lot of
charismatic
religions
figure.
have focused on a figurehead.
Well, they do, and
Look what's happening in the. All right, I'm sure I'm going to get flack on this, but look what's happening in the Christian world. They're more and more insulating themselves, right?
Yes.
Christian music.
Yeah.
They want Christian movies. They want Christian. They want you. These mega churches. They got events Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday.
Right.
Okay. To me, they're moving down that road.
And if you want to be seen as a good soldier for the church, you're going to show up to these things. Yeah, that's the way Watermark is.
That's Watermark, right?
Yeah.
That's this monstrosity out there in
Fellowship.
Carrollton.
Fellowship.
That looks
Is
like
that
a
the
football
fellowship?
stadium, for God's sake.
Yeah.
It's so big.
Yeah.
I mean, that needs money, number one, to be at that large, and that they're creating this constant insular community, especially as they think the secular world has gone to hell in a handbag, right? So the troops, the same thing's happening in the Republican Party. It's the circling the wagons as the wagons get smaller.
Why do they feel a need to circle the wagons?
Because they feel they're under attack
From who?
from the majority.
Aren't
Isn't
they-
it ironic?
Aren't they fueling their own attack? Aren't they?
They are.
They are the ones that are. They
Look
are
at
the
this
ones.
Indiana thing, right?
They're the ones that are defining the attack that's
Right.
against them. It's not an actual attack.
Right.
They are defining and saying that this is happening, whether it is or not. But that's enough to get.
It's kind of ironic to me. It's like a death spiral almost.
Yeah.
It's like when you're getting smaller, you should be
Yeah.
doing more to reach out, but they actually do the opposite.
Yeah.
And they tighten up and they get more and more conservative.
And
right?
the quills go out, and it
Right.
just yeah.
I think there's an element of that happening throughout. Religious affiliation with religious organization is way down
Yeah.
across the board.
Yeah, and it's
Especially since the internet's
it's
come
the
on
thing.
board.
We're not saying we're against religion. We're against these freakish ones.
Right.
It.
We're against the ones that disconnect from society
Yes,
into
and
their
isolate.
own circular.
Yeah. Now why do they circle the wagons? They feel safer that way.
Yes.
When they circle the wagons, they feel safer, but they also feel secure behind some sort of a wall.
Yes.
Whatever that wall is. It could be an ideological wall, an actual wall, bricks and mortar wall.
Right. Like Israel.
It could be a legal wall. It could be whatever.
Yes.
And I guess the legal wall is kind of what Scientology did to get the IRS off their back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's us versus the world.
Yeah, and everybody wants to feel like they're somehow elevated. First off, you got to elevate the troops. Say you're better than everybody else.
Yes.
And then everybody starts going, yeah, I'm better than everybody. One of the best quotes out of that thing was what Paul Haggis says. When you believe in something, you don't have to think.
Yes.
You don't have to think or question. When you have a belief in something, you don't have to. It eliminates the need to think and question. So you say, okay, you, Carl, are better than everybody else. Just look at you. Everything about you is great, and you're just the perfect person. And that's what we want for everybody in the world is to be like you. And so you get all puffed up, and you go, yes, I want that. How could you not want that for everybody else? And that's when the marching orders start. If you really believe that, yes, I do, and you want this to happen, yes, I do, then these are the things that we need to do, don't you think, to make that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of churches are closing down across
And
the
they're
country.
closing down because they don't have enough butts in the seats. And, a lot of these churches, but the churches that are big are these big prosperity churches that are in stadiums, or these big fundamentalist churches that are pulling people in.
Yeah. The prosperity church is interesting. It's kind of Tony Robbins meets Jesus,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Talking to fairly rich people. Right?
Yeah.
Fairly well-to-do
Yeah.
people. Like up in Carrollton here, a
Yeah.
big old stadium church or whatever.
Well, did I tell you about that
Joel
thing
Osteen.
that Perry played at? No, I didn't tell you about this,
No.
did I? Oh, this is good. He had a friend of his see if he wanted to play, substitute for him at a gig in Los Angeles. And he asked him what the gig was. Well, it was going to be down in Laguna. Okay, it's going to be a resort down in Laguna. And for you people that don't know Laguna, There is no bad area in Laguna. There's no across
Laguna
the tracks
Beach.
in Laguna Beach. Yeah, it's beautiful, but it is wealthy.
Yeah.
I mean wealthy. And it's right there on the coast. So he goes down there to this resort. He knew it was a fundraiser. And it's, I don't know how many acres, right on a cliff, Pacific Ocean, right over
Right.
the ocean right there. So it's beautiful. Got the infinity pool, all that bullshit. Well, all the people that were there had flown in from Flower Mound, Texas, which is a suburb out in New America, Dallas. It's one of these wealthy, and they were part of this church. It has to be a prosperity church, and the low end buy, as far as a donation, was a bunch of money. I mean, I don't know how much it was, but it was a lot. He seemed to think low end buy was around 175.
1,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, just to attend
That's
this thing?
that's what this resort was.
Right.
So they flew their singer out,
Right.
not the band. They picked up the band musicians out in Los Angeles, but they had the singer out there, and they're raising money at this place. And the people that are staying there, it's minimum $1,000 a night for a hotel room.
Right.
There's got to be some damn clean sheets.
Right.
I don't want to pull my black light out and find any spots on the sheets. And that's what that was. And they were raising
What
money.
were they raising money for?
Oh, you're going to love this. Now, you would think, well, now these people, this is a church. They're going
right.
to want to feed the hungry and stuff like that. No.
Feed the poor.
It had something to do with internet ministry. They were going to be buying domain names and some sort of and mailing lists so they could use the internet to sell
So
the
Jesus?
religion. Yeah, well, Jesus or them. But they're going to sell Jesus as packaged by them. There's Jesus, and then there's Jesus and all. I mean, this Jesus probably wears a polo and khakis and some penny loafers, Bass Weegians, or he might have and a little sport coat, no tie, but a little sport coat. That would be the Jesus, and his beard is kind of cropped nice and looks more like a hipster. It's that Jesus. But they got to have
Prosperity Jesus.
It's prosperity Jesus. Prosperity Jesus. I like prosperity Jesus.
Prosperity Jesus, yes.
And,
Because that's what he was all about.
Well, and prosperity Jesus would live in Flower Mound.
No, Prosperity Jesus would live in Palm Beach.
He would have a
He would
place in Palm Beach.
Yes.
Yeah. And a place in Laguna, but he might live in Flower Mound because he's one of the main people in the church here.
Yeah. And Prosperity Jesus gives out dollar bills. So what does Prosperity Jesus do?
I don't know. That's a good question. What would prosperity Jesus do?
You teach you how to be prosperous like him.
Yes. Well, first off, he'd say there's nothing wrong with being prosperous and having money.
That's right.
Right. He said there's nothing wrong with being that. These money changers that I used to beat up and stuff, I've come to believe that those people are really good. They're good of heart.
Yeah, I was wrong.
I was wrong.
Prosperity Jesus can admit his mistakes.
Yes, and ask for forgiveness from the money changers. And so he gets the money changers, and he puts them up. He suits them up, converts them. The money changers are now looking at this, going, "This looks like a way to be legit. I'm going to follow prosperity Jesus and be part of this thing." So all of a sudden, he puts them in some khakis and and they're carrying the plates up and down the aisles. So the money changers are carrying the plates up and down the aisle. Are you buying any of this yet?
No, I'm not buying any of it.
But that's the kind
I'm all
of
for
twisted.
prosperity thinking, but it's when you tie it to Jesus, it's really
Oh, I think that's genius.
genius.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's like you're buying a place in heaven. You're getting a box seat.
Let's talk a little bit about the Village Church here in Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
So to those who aren't familiar with this story, it's this church, big church, one of the mega churches. We have several here in Dallas.
We do.
Why is that? Well,
It's the
they're
big
in
boxing.
the Bible Belt.
It's the big boxing of church.
Yes, I love that. The Toys R Us of church.
Yeah.
Well, bigger than Toys R Us, I have to say.
It's the Costco
It's
of church.
the up in Carrollton. There's this church. It's got to be other than Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah.
It's the second largest building of of arena, if you
Yeah.
will. Anyway, back to Village Church. So they send off, of course, young people, kind of like the Mormons, to do missionary work, which is really kind of disgusting to me.
Yeah, that's another thing.
So I don't even,
yeah.
go to Africa and take people who have no education yet and convert them to Christ. I mean, I guess that's the easy pickings. Why don't they come in and try to do it at Stanford?
Yeah.
And try to do
Yeah.
that, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, but I digress.
Yes.
So he takes this couple.
And they're
wives-
members of the church.
They're members of the church, both of them, and recently married, and they're off to do good deeds. And soon afterwards, the wife discovers that the husband is into child pornography
Ooh.
in a big way.
Ooh.
And so she's not happy about that.
She's not?
No, she's not.
No.
And it turns out anybody that goes through this church signs like a covenant with the church
Ooh,
leaders.
An agreement?
An agreement, if you will, a contract, should you.
No.
This is where the cult comes in.
No.
And it basically says that, before getting a divorce, you will confer with the church leaders and get their wisdom.
Who are the church leaders?
Oh, the church leaders are the top dogs in the church.
Male dogs or?
I'm going to say male dogs,
Yeah,
yes.
we're gonna say how many-
Alpha dogs?
Yeah,
Yes.
the
I'm
dudes.
going to say for the most part, yes, because, of course, that'd be biblical.
Because I know at Watermark it's all men
Right.
that are in there.
Right. And then you can't, so she's upset, obviously, as any rational person would be, to find out, and she wants the marriage annulled as soon as possible,
Yeah.
and she wants to separate from him, including the finances
Yeah,
or
this is
what
a
have
sick
you.
fucker. I want out of here.
I want out of here. And it turns out, that, also she's not supposed to, she can't leave the church. There's a process before she can leave the church. There's a process about getting divorced. And they get upset with her because she's trying to separate the finances. And the church
Finances of what?
Of the marriage.
Oh,
Personal finances.
Oh,
Your
the
little
church
checking
now
account-
has something to do with
They
their
want to have a little
finances?
say in that.
The church wants to have something
yes.
to say.
Yes.
In
The
the married
elders.
couples.
Finances.
Private.
Especially
Private
Yeah,
finances.
private finances, Michael, yes. The little checkbook that you have with your wife.
Well, because they're getting some money out of it. They're getting a cut
getting a
out
little
of
check
it.
out
They're
of
getting a
that,
tithe
yes.
out of that,
Yeah.
10, 15%, whatever.
So he comes back, and of course he repents, as all Christians do. And I finally figured out from
and
this.
does he have to confess in front of the congregation and stuff like that?
They didn't really say, but I imagine there's
Yeah,
an element
because
of that.
those they
I'm
do.
a sinner, Lord.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So I finally get this thing where if you're a Christian and you do wrong, but you say, devil made me do it, or I'm sorry, or I'm a sinner and I'm asking God's forgiveness, then boom, everything's off. Everything's fine.
They have a get out of jail free card.
They really
Yeah.
do have a get out of jail. And now I'm getting that for the first time. I always try to wonder the
But
hypocrisy.
it's the guys that can give you the get out. It's the
Yeah.
guys with the.
So he does that, and everybody goes, "Oh, what a one! He's on his way back." But the girl's not following the rules, and so she kind of gets.
All of a sudden, she's the bad person.
Yeah, she gets a little sanctiony, or I got to look at the story exactly, but she gets. He's doing well, the child pornographer. But the woman who wants the divorce and wants her checkbook free, and so she ends up leaving the church, which of course was to me, this Village Church thing is getting right into Scientology down that road.
It does sound
Right.
a little creepy.
Well, they're
doesn't
supposed to get permission in a sense from the elders before leaving the church. So she's breaking the contracts left and right. But the thing is, she's blogging about it.
it? Oh,
Yes.
Good
She's
for her.
blogging about. Now she's still a true believer.
Well, you can do that,
Yes,
but you
you
don't
can
have
be.
to be. You don't have to swallow that other bullshit, hook, line, and
Right.
sinker.
So here's, and I think we've talked about Watermark. There's this element here. There's fundamentalists I'm talking about. I'm not
It's a
talking about all
patriarchal
Christians.
thing. It's a
It's
real
a patriarchal thing, but it's really religion is power.
No, absolutely.
It's really what this is at the end of the day.
So
Because at the end of
basically,
the day,
these guys are trying to keep the woman in her place,
literally,
subservient
yeah,
to the man.
yeah. A man could be a child pornographer.
Oh, so they want her to be subservient to a pedophile.
Yeah, they're saying let the elders oversee this breakup. They're kind
Because
of saying
they
to her,
know best.
we're going to let you. We understand. Let the elders who know best, because they know the Bible the best, so therefore they are better attuned to be able to make the right
root
choices.
around in their background a little bit.
Ooh, baby. And it's just, God, that's what everything in this story is what I dislike about
Well, that was
organized
Watermark
religion?
did that. They were in the paper as a number of years ago about a similar kind of thing like that.
Did they?
Yeah.
So the elders
yeah.
are.
Yeah, the elders in the case of Watermark, I think it was correction and counseling and correction. You can come in and submit yourself to counseling and correction, or some. It was 2 C words like that, and I want to say that's what it was. And it was a group of men. So on their website, there was a collection of
because that's
elder
how,
men, males, because
yes.
they're the ones that are running the deal.
Right.
And you come in for counseling,
Right.
and then if you need it, correction based on what they think
Right.
scriptures would say.
Right.
Or has said, or what you've agreed to with your paper,
Right.
or whatever. And I'm sure Watermark, all those churches, my guess is they signed that covenant,
Right.
because that's a way of you forcing people to sit down and make a commitment.
Yes. So let's unpack this whole thing.
Yeah, let's unpack.
So that's right. So the covenant is to get them to make a serious.
Yeah, to sit down. It's like when you're buying a car. How serious are you? Are you serious enough to sign your name on the paper here, buy the car? Are you serious enough about this church to sign your name on it? And
Why do you
agree
need to be
these things?
serious enough about the church?
Because it commits. It's a commitment, and it commits you to living and believing a certain way and agreeing with what they're doing.
Right. And in this covenant, it's so that you're in a sense gonna take part of your life and confer it to the elders who know better. The idea is the elders have gone through more Bible training, teaching.
You're abdicating your responsibility for your life.
Yes. So they know better because they've studied the Bible more in depthly than you have. So they know God's law better. So they are better equipped to make decisions than you are.
They are
the logic.
They are the imams of that church.
Right. And isn't that any different really from a Muslim?
No, it's really not.
Really isn't.
No,
it's just
not.
the Christian
They're
version.
both patriarchal kind of things.
Right.
You do this. There's no headscarves and shit like that, but it's still a patriarchal kind of a deal. Which I think, to me, these days, to have any free thinking, intelligent woman submit herself to that level of oversight by her, let's just call it what it is, her male superiors. At least that's the way they feel like it. They are superior to her because they're the ones that are making the decision. They're all male. So she is now allowing what could be called male superiors run her life. And this woman, this woman's balking at this shit, right?
Yeah, she's once,
Is she out of the church?
Yeah, she left church.
Oh, did they shame her and then kind of shun her? Have all the people shun her?
I don't know. The story is breaking in progress. So supposedly this weekend the priest has talked about this because it's run by a charismatic young guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
I think
we
he
gotta have
wears
a
jeans. Got to have a charismatic, young guy to kind of.
Is
run
it a
the
prosperity
thing.
Jesus church?
I don't know that much about, but I'm going to say there's probably that element. But I'm going to say it's supposed to be the hip happening place.
Oh, it's hip and happening. It's run by old guys or young guys.
Yeah, it could be young, run by men. Yeah, I agree. So women, that's what you sign up for on that. I'd be careful. If I was a woman, I would be very careful about joining any organized religion. And I sure hope I don't see women mirroring this and creating their own church where they do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, that would be good. A mirror.
So, guys, how would you feel about that if you had women telling you how to use or not use your sexual energy, power?
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. That's, when you try to flip it, you kind of show the whole craziness of it.
I think you do. Yeah. I think you do. And that's,
and for those, I don't think any of this is, the attempt to say what Jesus, this is how Jesus would want. It's just bullshit.
Is that really what Jesus would have said? I don't think so.
Yeah. Let's move on. How about Kentucky? Let's talk about this religious freedom. The Huckabee world is you're impinging on our religious freedoms to discriminate on gay people. Is that the argument here? Mm-hmm. You shouldn't force me to comply with the law.
That's the tack that they're taking. Yes.
You're impinging on my religious freedom.
Well, that and the law of God supersedes the law of the land.
Yeah. So we don't have to obey anything man
Even
says.
the Mormons
we
didn't
said.
believe that. That's why they gave up polygamy.
If you're the discriminator, you can't argue that your rights are being impinged. Because you could have argued that for
Yes.
against black civil rights. You could have argued it against interracial couples. You could have gone against Brown versus Board education about integrating blacks. Whatever you want to do.
Well, somewhere she has a boss. Somewhere she has a
So
supervisor.
she's the head of the county that's in charge
Yes,
of that.
but somebody's over
The governor?
her. Somebody is over her.
Yeah.
Somebody is in charge. She was voted in, evidently.
Really?
It was a voted in position, I think is what the deal was. So, but see, here's the deal. She was voted in to do a job, and I read an article that said she signed an oath to follow the letter of the law, so help me God. So she swore an oath to the state and an oath to God. I love this. This is real good. to uphold the law. She may not like the law, but she's supposed to uphold the law.
Yeah,
And so this article went on to quote several Bible scriptures. You know that book everybody gets excited about?
Yeah.
That says that if you quoted the Lord, because he spoke about this very topic, because it was important back then, that if you swear out an oath in my name, you have to follow through.
So she's violating her oath that she's made to God when she took the position.
So God's going to be pissed off. She's between a rock and a hard place. The God's going to be pissed off at her on Judgment Day because she's not.
She, also the 3 or 4 marriages might have done something? How
Oh,
come she
she-
hasn't been stoned? Because according to the Bible, you get stoned if you get divorced, right?
Oh, is she been married a few times?
3.
3 times.
4. She's on her 4th.
Oh, she's on her 4th. Well,
The hypocrisy is rich.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Cherry picking of the Bible is
Yeah,
rich.
no. And the thing is, I don't understand why somebody is not stepping in and said, okay, this was your job.
Well, she
it's
just
not
went
your
to
job.
prison today.
Yeah. Well, all that's going to do is fire up the Christians. They're going to say now she's a martyr,
She's
and
a
people
martyr,
are going to
put her
start
out.
throwing money in.
Absolutely.
They're going to start throwing money at it, which is going to fund more lawsuits and more bullshit around this.
Right.
That's just going to just swirl. And I think it's great because what that's going to do is it's going to suck. It's going to create a little vortex that's going to suck Huckabee down with it. It's going to
He's
suck
already gone, yeah.
Cruz down with it, and it's going to suck whoever else gets close to that. That is a whirlpool that will suck you into the bowels of the earth. Stay away from it. But they're not. They don't. It doesn't matter because they're.
What about Alabama now? Alabama's thinking about passing a law where the state does away with marriage licenses, and if you want to get a marriage license, you go to a church.
Yeah, but the churches will say we're not going to issue them either because
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
You're getting
that
it.
doesn't work. That's
Is that
what,
unconstitutional?
Well-
Just if they say we're out of the business of marriage
This
licenses.
is what this situation makes clear the problem with states' rights. Each state is interpreting it the way they want to,
Right.
which is complete total bullshit. Because that just shows you what Kentucky, we don't know what Kentucky's going to do, that what Alabama, it doesn't surprise me that Alabama would do something like that. It really doesn't surprise me at all.
That's what they're thinking about doing.
Oh, yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if Mississippi followed suit and Louisiana's right behind them.
Well, fortunately, there's an easy way to become a religion, as we've seen with our little John Oliver
Yeah.
thing. So if I was an entrepreneurial type of folk, which I kind of am,
Oh, you could
I'd
start
go to
you
Alabama
could
and start a church.
Start a
of
church, the church
to
of
marry all the gays.
Yeah.
But that still skirts against the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because now they're trying to get the state out of it to avoid the federal constitution.
So all you need is a chapel and a notary republic, and you're in business. Notary republic.
I don't even know if it would be legal for the state to bop out of licensing marriages.
Well, we're
Would that
going
mean we're going to create a
find
federal
out.
office that would do
I
that?
don't know. Well, I think that would be an executive order, an executive thing that Obama would do and say all marriages are federal and they're executive, and states can do whatever the fuck they want to do. If you want to do a states' right thing, fine. The federal officials that are already in the states, we're going to allow them
To marry.
Yeah.
She should have been fired.
Yeah, she
Day
should have
one.
been. If she was in any other job, in any other company, in any other position, she would have somebody over that says, I, respect your religious beliefs, but you will issue these license or your ass is out the door Thursday afternoon.
So here's a question for you. Do you think the evangelical right-wing Christian side, will this gay marriage thing become like abortion? Or will
Oh,
it
yeah.
become like civil rights in black in the 60s? In other words, will it be something that lasts a long time that they make an issue for the next 25 years, like abortion has become?
Oh, I think
or does it just go into the fabric of the country?
I think it's probably a combo.
Combo?
I think it's probably a combo, yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they are being so hardcore about it as it is.
Well, it took the feds to give blacks equal rights, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Alabama was right in there with them,
Yeah.
saying, "Hey,
Right.
you know,
State
and
rights, state
yeah,
rights.
yeah, states' rights. You know, we know what's best for us, what the people in our community want." Well, no, what they're saying is a certain percentage of the white people in our community want.
Right.
Yeah, that's what they're basically saying. And so it's such a small group of people that are doing this bullshit. But you've got the politicians that are pandering to that sliver of vote. And what they need to be doing, they need to be just going, no, I don't care. I don't want your vote. You're wrong on this issue. Y'all go find somebody else.
Yeah.
Or stay home. I don't care.
The Middle East, will it ever get itself straightened out?
No. Not in our lifetime. I don't think so.
Really?
I really don't think so.
Well, it seems like kind of what this is happening is what you've always kind of hoped for. They all go to this one place and then we just bomb them.
They already know and believe where the final battleground is going to be.
Where?
And it's going to be in Syria.
That's the final battleground?
That's the final battleground. It is foretold that the 12th caliphate, the 12th caliph of the caliphate, and the one that's in there now is number 8.
We're only at 8?
We've
Did
only
I read
had
this
8.
article?
Yeah, but you know everything.
Yeah,
no, he's the 8th, and the 12th one is going to lead and go into battle. But you know who's going to be leading? This is the part that fascinated
the Antichrist?
No.
No?
Jesus was going to lead the true believers in battle against the Antichrist. And they believe that Jesus
is on their side?
Yes.
That darn Jesus?
Yeah.
He's a one busy guy.
Yeah. And so I'm going, wow, this is really all mixed up. So try and, as a Christian or a Jew, try and extract that view out of their religion. You can't, how do you do that?
I don't understand why Christians read the Old Testament. The Old Testament are Jewish books.
Yeah, but
Christ came to get rid of the Old Testament.
You know why they read it?
Why don't they just read the New Testament?
It's in the front part of the book.
No, but I'm saying
it's
they
in the front part of the
book.
No, it's in there.
Come on, run with me on this. You're Christian, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Christian means you follow Christ,
Yeah.
right? Christ came, created the New Testament. That's what they call it, the New. Okay, that's where Christianity starts. Why are you even reading scripture and verse from the Old Testament, which is what Christ was all about the new, creating the new?
I don't know.
Right? Because that's where we get in trouble. If you look at the New Testament, Christ doesn't talk about, or the New Testament, I should say. We don't know what Christ talks about. New Testament doesn't talk about really the gay thing.
Could we do a mash?
All
Could we
stuff.
do a mashup with the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Torah, and the Quran,
No.
and have them all mixed up where the paragraphs are color coded, but they're all together and they're all based on the time when they came out.
I would think. There it is another
Thought leadership.
Thought leadership.
Oh, that would be good. That would be
Create the one big book.
The one big book.
You try to do timeline kind of thing.
Oh yeah, a timeline.
Didn't Muhammad show up 700 years later?
Huh?
Did Muhammad show up 700 years later?
He showed up whenever they wanted him to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about we don't read that book anymore?
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
It just causes so much problems. Because you got Jesus, then you got God, then you got Allah, then you've got the right way, and somebody else doesn't, and it's a divisive, fucked up thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think we'd be better off without religion.
I would think.
That's a big question. Would we be better or worse off without religion? I'm not talking about spirituality or whatever your personal connection, but I'm talking about religion. We try to organize this thing and tell other people how to think.
Yeah, I think that part of it would be great to be without it.
I think the world would be a better place without religion.
It's all about it's power and money. It's all about getting members, getting members to pay membership dues, and becoming true believers, and then going out and getting more members.
So it's very capitalistic in a way.
It's almost network marketing.
I knew you were going there.
It is network marketing. It's the early network marketing.
It is early network. You're going to go after the network marketing.
No, I'm serious. It is. Isn't it?
Religion. Well, you got to.
Well, I mean, where you have
No,
to go out and
it's a.
proselytize.
I would argue no, and here's why. Because it's actually a fixed game in religion, right? First off, you get the tax. No tax. You get the tax breaks, right?
What?
Second off, but really you do it by having a lot of kids. That's why they don't want they don't want abortion. That's why they don't want. Right? You have a lot of kids to propagate the faith.
Yeah.
You look at all those religions, they're multiplying like bunnies because they're like doing it in-house.
Yeah.
But I would say...
Well, that's in-house growth, but they're also got outhouse
if religion is
growth.
like network marketing, then every business is like network marketing, isn't it? Not? It's about getting members, getting customers, keeping customers, evangelizing those customers.
Yeah.
So it's all one big network marketing thing is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
The new religion.
Yeah.
The old religion.
Yeah, I think the idea of
I think that's
like
more considered.
shit canning the religious deal, the churches and stuff.
So there you have it.
Now that's a big idea.
Talk about strange planet.
But
Imagine there's no religion.
Yeah.
Hello, John Lennon. They found the King James Bible, or they found the earliest translation of it.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Is there any difference?
It was done by committee, little committee work. Of course, this
Oh,
is
it was
in the 1600s.
Oh, like big surprise there, right?
Yeah.
What did everybody think? Old King James sat down and wrote it himself?
No.
How can they tell it's by committee? Because it's got different.
Because they found this early translation.
And it's got different people writing it.
Yeah, and there's solo projects there.
Oh, now
But now, just think about this. This is 1600, so this
Yeah.
is 1600 years after. There's 8 known translations before the King James.
Oh, there is.
So think about that. Yeah.
But the King James is the one that most people use, right? Is there a big difference between?
There was a killer writer. As always, there's a copywriter involved.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Named Tyndale or something. He was a
Yeah.
killer. He gave us some Eat, Drink, and Be Merry. Came from Tyndale. Came from
Ooh.
the King James.
I
A bunch
like
of
that.
a bunch of famous phrases.
So he's the first
He was
famous
like a
copywriter?
superstar. Yes.
Okay.
He was a superstar, and influenced other translations
So
later
you
on.
copywriters can look back to old Tridell and say,
He
damn,
was the
that
first
guy was good.
copywriter. Yeah, because here's when you know you're good, is when you hit the vernacular, you hit the core of the society, and you create catchphrases. Nike's "Just Do It." That killer copywriting because it transcends. Think of how many ads are written.
Yeah.
How many ads you see in a given
Yeah.
year, and to have one stick.
Like, just do it for
Yeah.
years and years.
So I mean, that's.
So is there a big difference between that King James and the ones we currently use? Wouldn't there be interesting if there were some omissions?
Yeah. Well, and this was misfiled all these years.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder what the Catholics have got in their basement in the Vatican.
They got a few
misfiled.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your contention here? That
Oh, I think it's all by committee. I think
you think
I
that
think
Bible
there's a,
was written. Some things were omitted that didn't. Oh, and guess what happened to the cop?
Yes.
Guess what happened to the copywriter?
anything that didn't fit the storyline. Yeah.
Guess what happened to the copywriter who came up with these killer phrases that lived to
Burned
this
at the
day?
stake?
Yeah, they executed his ass.
Yeah, that's what they did back then. You don't
Yeah.
want smart people.
You really don't. William Tyndale, Tyndale, finished the first complete English translation of the New Testament. Ready for some of the phrases he gave us?
Yeah.
Which led to his execution in
Yeah.
1536. Not only did he give us eat, drink, and be merry, he gave us lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Whoa.
That's a big one.
Oh, you mean that wasn't the word of God? That was actually the word of a copywriter?
William Tyndale. Yeah, how about this one? My brother's keeper. Boom. Big phrase.
So is this not a phrase that Jesus said? That he
you know,
said
you're
that
translating.
Jesus
You're translating, and you have to turn it into English. It's not. You
you
have to give it a
are-
little. You have to give it a little.
You had to have the spice and the.
How about this? Salt of the earth. Boom.
Oh God!
This guy's a
Are you
superstar.
are
The
you-
sign of the times.
a sign of the
The sign of the times, and perhaps most sublimely, let there be light. Boom. William Tyndale.
Oh, we're gonna light your ass up, all right? Here, time to the stake and torch him.
Obviously, a little early.
Oh, they can't. You know, the priest can't.
seriously, my
Who was it
brother's
that
keeper
killed
came
him?
to
Who was
pass.
it that executed him?
He completed the saying. He said, "Look what I did," and they killed him. Yeah.
Oh no, you didn't do that. That was the word of God.
Yeah.
Light him up.
Boom. Who do you think you are?
Yeah.
Trying to write,
Trying
change.
to take credit for the word of God.
But we're going to keep Brother's Keeper, though, because that's a good one.
Yeah.
Superstar.
I had no idea.
Superstar.
Where did you hear about this
Says-
guy?
It was
Long
so
time?
great. Well, no, because of this discovery. His verbal power was so great that even the Catholic, because he was England, right? Church
Yeah.
of England, different group. But even the Catholic translators said, "Fuck it,"
We can't beat this.
Yeah.
Let's just follow in this guy's wake, and then we'll kill him later. They've probably got some of his best stuff or down in the basement.
Yeah. That was the stuff that made it. We're done with the tax-exempt churches.
Right.
And you're going to pay taxes like everybody else.
We're going
to do something special for you.
Yeah.
We're going to take the money from churches that are collected, 10%, and we're going to give it to programs that aid the poor here in the United States.
And let you help direct that. So you're
Yes.
still using your money for what you profess it's to be used for,
Yes.
which is helping the poor.
Yes.
But it's going to be helping the poor here. Within the confines of the 50 states.
Because not really helping the poor in Africa, which is kind of a marketing. It's a marketing ploy. And I know a little bit about marketing. Okay, so I go to Africa and I bring food, but I also bring the Bibles. So I'm going to give you something to eat, and I'm going to teach you about Jesus Christ.
I'm going to give you a little something, but you
Little something, and
but
then
you
you're
got to
gonna
sing
get-
for your dinner.
That's right.
Oh,
I don't like that.
no.
No. That's called marketing.
Yeah.
That's just the food is just an expense, a marketing expense.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to keep it directed towards the poor here in the United
Yeah.
States.
Yeah.
And so people go screaming about separation of church and state and all that kind of stuff. That was a sweet little deal.
Yeah. Let's help folks at home.
Yeah. But the idea, when I look at Ariel, I saw an aerial shot the other day of Joel Osteen's home. This just giant mega mansion. There's just something unseemly about,
A man of God living in a place like that.
and maybe I need to change my thinking around that.
No, you don't, because
no?
here's a man of God living in a place like that.
Why-
that's
why should
probably
man
got
of God- yeah.
servants working for him. And Jesus, what did he do? He slept outside underneath the trees on probably a mat.
Yeah.
Maybe if he's lucky, he got a bale of hay.
I know, but
Or sleeping in somebody. So
I go back and forth. I mean, we have to look. Are we being
what?
so Matt? So you're saying priests or anyone in the religious faith should live modestly?
No. I'm saying realistically. I'm saying Joel Osteen is living like these corporate guys that are making 400 and some odd times the low employee.
He does.
And he's living
he
just
generates
like that.
that kind of income. Yes.
Well, I don't give a shit if he does. I'm talking to the church members now. Think of what else you could do if he cut his salary by half. Then you got half that money that you could then direct at.
But think of all
Food
this money
banks or
being
whatever.
directed towards what? What is the? I mean, it's like these giant football stadiums. It's really turned into a large corporation.
Yes.
Religion.
Yep.
So they should be taxed.
Yep. I want people to stop. Well, I'm going to tell you what this is. Q is the religion of questioning. We don't know. We don't know the answers to any of
Shocking.
this stuff.
What?
We don't have.
You haven't reduced God down to a
No.
definable
We
box?
honestly admit that we don't have the answers.
You are shocking.
I'm a heretic of some sort. Okay.
You have no answers, and yet you want
Yes.
us to follow you?
Yes, and it is the religion that we have. So everybody, kids out there in radio land, I want you to stop what you're doing.
This is
I want
podcast
you,
land, by the way.
That's right. Okay, podcast land. I want you to close your laptops at the
What?
Starbucks.
Yes.
I want you to pull over to the side of the road. I want you to push your chair back. I want you to stand up. I want you to raise your hands, and I want you to say, where?
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 Where what?
And then I want you to turn around, and I want you to say louder. What? And turn around again. By this time, there's going to be people looking at you.
Definitely.
Get them to encourage them to stand up and say, who? And then at last you go, why? At the top of your voice. And then go over to the nearest person and shake their hand and go, hi, I'm Mike, and I don't know. Do you know? And that's how it starts.
Is that how it starts?
That's our thing.
Wow.
What do you think?
I think it's embarrassing.
I'm writing copy. No, but I think.
Okay, Carl says don't do any of that.
Here's what I've got. I've got this vision of a flash mob.
Yeah.
At the Gonorrhea Mall up here. Gonorrhea, it's the Galleria, but we call it I call it the Gonorrhea. Anyway, the Gonorrhea, a flash mob, and everybody stops and does it, raises their hands and asks where, who, what, why, and then introduce themselves, the people that are not holding their hands.
I don't know. Do you?
And then walks up. No,
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Do you?
They're going to say they do know. Let me tell you about Jesus.
Okay, and then you say,
prosperity thinking.
Well, let's have it. Give us the answers. We're looking. Because that's what Q's all about.
We embrace the unknown.
The unknown, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, embrace it. As you can tell, we're kind of working this through. We're working.
Yeah.
We're writing the manifesto as we go.
Oh, it's hard to be the unknown. It's hard. It's so easy to have answers.
People are not going to follow you if you go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Here we go. Carl, what's the deal? No, I don't have a clue.
But Bob over here, he can quote.
Yeah, Bob over there, he can tell you.
Book.
Yeah, he's got books and got a big building and logo.
It does have a logo.
He's got a logo.
You got to have a logo.
But Carl, you don't have a logo. No, we don't have a logo.
Well, we have Q.
We have Q.
We could make a logo out of that.
Yeah.
You're a designer.
Yeah.
We could go that route.
That's it. That's just going to be Q.
Yeah.
No person. No central personality. No prosperity Jesus. We're not going to have prosperity Jesus, right?
Ooh, that's a tough one. We lose out on prosperity Jesus?
Yeah, we don't live. We can't use prosperity Jesus. Everybody's got him cornered. They've got that. They've sliced and diced prosperity Jesus to the point that you can't get a unique prosperity Jesus.
Jesus is busy making money.
He's busy, so we gotta. Has everybody turned us on by now?
Yeah, we've lost everyone. Even the atheists, they're saying, I'm out of here. All right.
God.
All right. So tune in to Carl and Mike. Well, come back soon. And we're at carlmike.net, all over the internet at Carl and Mike. So just find us, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Out.